There's a new investment account for kids, more famously known as the Trump account, and many parents are rushing to open one. It offers government money, tax advantages, and a head start from birth. Sounds like an easy decision, but here's the problem. Most people opening these accounts don't really understand what they're for, because it doesn't replace a 529 plan, it doesn't replace a UTMA, and it doesn't replace a custodial Roth IRA. Each of these accounts does something different. And if you understand how to use them together instead of choosing between them, well, then you'll make drastically better decisions for your child's future. The Trump account, also known as Invest America accounts, eligible children under 18 can have one of these accounts opened on their behalf. And here's the headline that's getting attention. Eligible children born between January 1st of 2025 and December 31st of 2028 may qualify for an initial contribution of $1,000 from the Treasury. That's a nice government seed contribution. You open the accounts using Form 4547 or through the IRS online portal. Families can contribute up to $5,000 a year, with employers being able to contribute $2,500 within that limit. And the money stays invested until the child turns 18. The IRS announced that as of late March 2026, over 4 million children had already signed up for these accounts, and over 1 million of them had been tied to the initial pilot contribution. So this is real, it's live, and it's already getting traction. And I understand why it's generating such excitement. The story makes a lot of sense. Get a head start at birth, a government contribution, and decades of tax-free compounding. So for a child born today, we're talking about an 18-year runway before the money is even touchable. Even small dollars, given enough time and compounding, can become very meaningful. That part of the story is true, but if you treat it like a universal answer, you will almost certainly be using it for the wrong job. And we've developed a framework that we've used to help many of our clients with the exact same issue. And I'll share that framework in today's video, but if you want help with your specific situation, feel free to book a free wealth strategy call using the link in the description. So the question isn't which account is best. The question is which account solves which job. Because your financial life and your child's financial future isn't a single goal. It's a set of goals. And matching the right account to the right goal is where real planning happens. Job one, I want to fund education efficiently. Well, if your primary goal is college funding, the 529 plan still wins. I had a client, let's call her Steph, VP for a SaaS company, 2 kids under 10, strong earner, and she came to me genuinely wondering if she should pivot all of the kids' savings money into the new Invest America accounts. And the first question that I asked was, what is the job that you're trying to hire this money for? For Steph, the answer was clear. She wanted to put both kids through college without taking on debt or liquidating taxable investments during a volatile year. That's a 529 problem, and the 529 is still the strongest tool for that job. Qualified education withdrawals can be federally tax-free, and the account covers a broad range of education expenses. And here's a recent update that many people haven't caught up to yet. If you overfund your child's 529 plan and they don't use the funds for education purposes, you have a path to roll those funds into the beneficiary's Roth IRA. The conditions of this include a 15-year account age requirements, annual Roth contribution limits, and a $35,000 lifetime rollover cap. That's a big flexibility improvement. So if your job is education funding, start with the 529. Job 2, I want flexibility for what my child actually needs. Many parents aren't trying to earmark funds for college specifically. They want a pool of capital that can go towards a home down payment, a business, a wedding, or whatever the child ultimately decides they need. That's where UTMA, Uniform Transfers to Minors Act account, is often considered. And it offers real flexibility because you can invest broadly and the money isn't restricted for education or any specific purpose. But there are trade-offs worth understanding. First, this is an irrevocable gift to the child. Once the money goes into a UTMA, it belongs to them. And when they reach the age of majority, which varies by state, but it's typically 18 or 21. The control of that account transfers to them completely. No conditions, no restrictions. No, we want to just make sure you're responsible with it first. Second, unearned income above the kiddie tax threshold can be taxed at the parent's rate. So you're not getting a tax shelter here. You're getting flexibility with a tax and loss of control cost built in. For some families, that's the right call. For others, especially those who care deeply about when and how the money gets used, it's an important consideration. So know the trade-offs before you use this account. Job 3, my child has earned income. This is where I get really excited. If your child is a teenager with a part-time job, a modeling contract, a paid role in the family business, any type of earned income, the custodial Roth IRA is one of the most powerful tools in the entire tax code. The IRS requires earned income to contribute to a Roth, and the contribution is capped at the lesser of the annual limit or the child's actual earned income. But the upside here is extraordinary, because that money goes in after tax at a rate that is most certainly going to be the lowest tax rate the child will have in their entire lifetime, and it grows tax-free. And qualified Roth distributions can come out tax-free in retirement decades from now. I've seen parents open these up for high school kids with summer jobs, and the compounding math from that early start is remarkable. The catch is just that the child must have earned income. You can't open a Roth for an infant. This is not a from birth strategy. It's a working teenager strategy. And for that job, it's hard to beat. Job 4 is, I want to take advantage of the government seed money and build what I'm calling an adult launch fund. This is where the Trump account has a real and specific use case. It's not the right account for education funding, and it's not the right account for a child with earned income. But as a separate bucket dedicated to giving the child a meaningful financial asset at 18 that's seeded with government money, it has real merit. Just run the math on what $1,000 compounding over 18 years looks like. Think about what that fund could support. Their first home, initial capital for a business, the beginning of their own investment journey. That's the job this account was designed to do. And for many clients, the smart move isn't deciding between this account and a 529. It's layering this account alongside the 529. One account funds education, one account builds an adult launch asset. Different buckets, different jobs, same family. And that brings me to the most important point in this entire conversation. The biggest mistake I see is not picking the wrong account. It's picking the right account for the wrong goal. A 529 is excellent at education, but it is not a flexible general purpose savings vehicle. A UTMA, on the other hand, is flexible, but it is not a tax shelter, and you will lose control of it. A custodial Roth is powerful for working teens, but it cannot be used for a newborn. And the Invest America account is timely, potentially seed funded, and designed as a long-term adult asset. It is not a college savings replacement. Every one of these tools has a job. This is one of those areas where small decisions compound over time. Not because any of these accounts are complicated, but because they're often used the wrong way. And once you start aligning each one to a specific purpose, things just get a lot clearer. And if you want help structuring this properly for your situation, you can book a wealth strategy call using the link in the description, and we'll walk you through it.